And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, occupancy beside me, Ryan bottom left, Vito bottom right, and we are ready to break down some Saturday sports. We will start the show as we usually do, and that is looking at the current record for each sport. MLB, as usual, doing great in best bets, great in almost 5 units in dog of the day. Total, still a little bit rough here, minus 4.7 units, but we'll get it up there. Football, nothing has changed, killing it in totals. College football, again, doing good in totals. A little bit of rough night yesterday for best bets and dog of the day. College is what it is. And then looking at other sports, profitable in all three sections. This is CFL, WNBA, and NHL preseason. And of course, NHL still empty, but I think 7 more days till we have the first San Jose and Nashville game in Prague, is it? Is it in Prague? Yeah. So that game, those games will happen in about 4 weeks. 1 week. We will start another announcement. If you missed yesterday's show, new schedule starting next week, 4 p.m. Eastern, back to our regular hockey time. Saturdays, there'll be 2 shows now, one around this time for Saturday games, and then one at night, 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern for Sunday games. No more Sunday show. I just figured instead of cramming it in Sunday morning when people are busy, like doing their bets and stuff, it's better just to do it Saturday night. So that's how we are going to do it from now on. But we will jump into hockey preseason here, and I will bring up the current odds here. And we'll look at NHL preseason. I haven't got to anything yet today. Obviously, we do have 3 games starting here that started starting right now. Florida, Carolina, Philly, Boston, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Didn't get to any of those. Basically, the 2 games I'm focusing in on here is Detroit and Seattle. I'm looking possibly at a Detroit-Seattle moneyline parlay. And basically the reason for that is Seattle has most of their top players playing. Vancouver has a few, like Bo Horvat, JT Miller, Ekman Larson. That's basically about it. But they have Demko in net. Meanwhile, it'll be Grubauer for Seattle, but they have like their full lineup, including top prospects Shane Wright and Matty Beniers. So I want to back Seattle here too. Plus, there's supposed to be this big, huge rivalry. I'm sure Ryan will be able to discuss it more. But Vancouver and Seattle, like before Seattle even played a game, people were talking about this is going to be the big rivalry just because of location. So we'll have to see. It may take a couple years to really build up, maybe until these teams face in the playoffs to really build a rivalry. But I like Seattle here with their full, basically their full lineup. And then Detroit, Chicago. Detroit will have Jacob Vrana, Dylan Larkin, David Perron, Lucas Raymond, Kubalik. And then we'll have Casa and Nedeljkovic in net and Moritz Seider on the blue line. And Chicago, well, doesn't really matter who they have playing because their lineup is not going to be too good anyway. Obviously, maybe unless Patrick Kane's playing. But other than that, they don't really have too much. So I'm looking at Detroit and I'm looking at Seattle for my NHL preseason. Occupancy, have you got any NHL preseason yet today, or is there anything that's catching your eye so far?
Yeah, definitely. What's up to everyone in the chat? I got some action for you right now if you're looking for it. I'm going to go to Buffalo right here. And one thing I've been noticing with the preseason is plus money is the way to go. Why are you laying juice in the preseason with favorites unless you're going to parlay like Terry? I'm not liking it. I got Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in the crease for the Sabres here. Last Sunday, he got lucky here. He stopped 24 of 27 saves. That's an 889 save percentage. They barely won against Washington. If you watch that game, they really just put one in at the very end and scored. Just kind of lucky here. They're playing Pittsburgh right now. I see Tristan Jarry expected. When you see a minus 185 for Buffalo, something is very wrong, in my opinion. They should not be laying that number no matter what. So I'm going to be looking to take the Pittsburgh Penguins live here.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Melissa is also, well, obviously she's a Penguins fan, but she's on the Penguins as well today against Buffalo. Ryan, preseason hockey. Have you got to anything today?
Yeah, I'm on the Seattle game, and I'm taking the under. These two teams played the other night, and it was a really bizarre game. Vancouver came out and hit goals right away, goal, and I don't think that happens again. But then there was this long stretch of 20 or 30 minutes where there was no goals, so I think that's going to be more indicative of the gameplay. So I'm on the under 6. I think that's a good look on Seattle. Matty Beniers played really well in the split squad game. I think it was against Calgary last week. He was just buzzing. He had a lot of open ice. He looks like he's picking up right where he left off when he left the team. There's a little bit of an upgrade in goal tonight on both ends. So to me, this is an under. I think it's a good look on the Kraken as well.
All right, maybe I'll parlay both together, Seattle and the under. Maybe that'll be something I add as well. Vito, preseason hockey, anything catching your eye today?
Yeah. Thanks for having me here. It's my pleasure as always, well, I don't bet too much preseason, but started to check just now. I like the occupancy's way he looks at this. Pence on the road, there's a plus money. I could think that's the most decent one. Because I know Bruins played most of their starters. I think they have a full lineup. Now Bruins are playing against Flyers, So only way is to take the Bruins, but Bruins are already juiced. And the other game we have is Canes against Panthers. I think Canes won them the other night, right? 5-2.
That's big dogs. Florida was big favorites.
Yes. I'm not sure what to bet on this preseason. I think I would agree with occupancy speak regarding the Pens. And let's see who's playing in night. Give me a sec. So we have Columbus, Washington. So Columbus, Washington says dogs. I don't know this. Well, Washington definitely is. After winning yesterday, that Red Wings 2-0. Ovi will not play these preseason games. No vets will play these preseason games seriously. Only these young guys who are I think like 27, 28, that could like maybe 30. That's the top age, I think, which actually tries. I think anyone older than that don't really try. So I think you can bet against Washington for sure. You can, I think, go with Columbus maybe. Ottawa. What about Ottawa? They have they are very juiced. I guess they're playing all the. Anyone know Ottawa lineup for tonight? Who they got?
I didn't see a lineup for Ottawa yet.
Yeah, okay. Well, the rest of the games actually start in 9, so perhaps there is not even maybe some lineup night, so there's no lineups out. So I guess depends, and you can look at the Blue Jackets. And myself, actually, I'm not betting anything.
Montreal will have Mike Hoffman, Joel Armia, Jonathan Drouin, Mike Matheson. Montreal's lineup is rough, very rough.
Well, and if Ottawa have great players, maybe you can take them in rug. Who knows? Well, but still, it's preseason, so be careful. But Ottawa lost 2 games already in preseason. They got to get this going. Now this preseason, they had 4 games. They only have won 1. So, anyways, you don't want to come into, regular season having an 8-game winning streak, but you also don't want to come in having a losing streaks. So definitely they will try to beat this Canadiens team today, I think.
All right. And then no opinions in the Detroit or Seattle game?
Seattle playing all the starters, and I don't know what can happen. Well, since actually money line looks very good on them, no? Is it like on some places I can see it's even almost at pick 'em? Well, not pick 'em, but it's like
No,
minus
for Seattle,
120.
it's minus 132.
Okay,
It's
I
minus
can find
132 to minus 150.
in BetStamp, right? Or where?
Yeah.
Okay,
If your
well,
book says Seattle minus 110, take that quickly.
20 minus 120, minus 125,
Oh,
let's say. Minus 20,
okay. Yeah,
125 is not a bad odd. I think that's what you can go with actually. And how they played this last game. Oh, they come. Oh, I remember this game. I was watching. They came back against Canucks. They blew the lead. Okay. So that was a great game from Kraken. Well, Kraken, I'll look at that 3-game winning streak riding in a preseason. Give them the cup already. I mean, what do you mean? Kraken doing good.
Yes.
Well,
Justin used a $50 free bet on the Penguins. So there we go.
let's go.
Best of luck. But that is it for preseason hockey. We will move on along and start with BetStamp. Use code WILD in the referral code section. BetStamp obviously is is what I bring up here to show all the odds. Currently, the live odds, live games going on. But you can follow me there. Let's Go Wild Picks. Any sport you want to find, they have props. Even bets you didn't know existed. You can find they exist by looking at BetStamp in the different games. Obviously, not a lot for NHL preseason, but we will be having more once NHL regular season is back.
Do they have they don't have over like goals in reg, for example, right? That's the only thing they don't have for NHL when the season starts, I think.
I don't know. They don't have it now, but I'm pretty sure they'll be working on getting it for regular season. But don't
Advice,
quote me on
advice.
that.
Since you are a promoter here,
BetStamp, if you hook up a book that has the regular totals, then you should be able to track them with it. But most books don't have the regular totals. I know me and Vito sometimes use those. So you just got to keep an eye out for that.
well, yeah, in USA you use full games, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's it for NHL show, right? So
that's it for NHL. Yeah. Thanks for
Okay.
coming, Vito.
We'll see you
We'll
at
see
the
you later.
regular season. It's gonna be a massive season. Let's make some money. So I'm excited, and yeah, see you guys. It was my pleasure.
Sounds good. See you later.
See you, Vito.
But we will move on to MLB and look at today's slate. I'm going pretty light today. I'll say that right off the bat. One of the games that I do have here is currently in rain delay, and that is Philadelphia, Washington. I can't believe I'm about to say this right now. I am backing Anibal Sanchez against Kyle Gibson. Gibson has been getting smashed lately in his last few games overall. While Anibal Sanchez obviously was getting smashed when he started this year, but in his last 7 games, he's 3-1 with a 1.31 ERA. So less than 1.5 ERA or 1.5 ERA in his last 7 games. He, including this Phillies team, he only played 2 innings in that one. Gave up 1 earned run, but was great in the games previously to St. Louis, Miami twice, Oakland, Seattle, San Diego. So he's not really facing the best opponents, but Philadelphia isn't really playing that well right now. And I got the first 5 plus a half for, I believe, plus 110. So that's where I went in that one. We'll kind of look at the other games here. I didn't touch Baltimore Yankees, which is also in rain delay here. Cincinnati and the Cubs. The Cubs have been winning, like I said in yesterday's show. I got my first 5 minus a half there. The Reds are waiting for the season to end, and the Cubs are playing baseball for fun right now and having fun winning. So if anything, I would be looking at the Cubs, but minus 133 with the pitching matchup today, I didn't end up pulling the trigger. Boston, Toronto, nothing for me yet. Toronto is putting their full lineup out there today. So despite partying last night after the 9-0 game against Boston, which they were going to party anyway for clinching the division, for clinching a playoff spot. But they got to party a little extra because they won 9-0 yesterday. That was my best bet on picks and parlays on my premium play yesterday as well, Toronto run line. Today, I haven't pulled the trigger on anything in this game yet. I like the pitching matchup for Toronto. I'm just not sure how these guys are going to come out after partying last night. If you look at what the Yankees did, they smashed Toronto after partying, and Garrett Cole was flawless for 5 innings before he got roughed up a little bit after that. But nothing in that game for me yet. Arizona, San Francisco. Again, I haven't pulled the trigger in this game, but I want to take Arizona in some fashion. San Francisco is playing so hot right now, so I don't really want to fade them. But pitching-wise, Jameson has done really well for Arizona so far, including a game against this Giants team. So he's a young prospect that has got off to a great start this year. I want to find a way to back him, but I don't really want to fade the Giants right now with the way they're playing. So nothing officially for me yet. Oakland, Seattle, I'm not touching. Seattle just clinched a playoff spot for after 21 years, the longest playoff drought in the main 4 professional sports is now over. And I'm sure they definitely partied last night, maybe a little bit extra hard. So I don't want to touch them here. But I don't want to take Oakland, even with Sears, who he's had a rough time since coming to Oakland. He had a couple good games there, but rough time overall. I'm still high on him in his future, but nothing right now. I was going to get involved with this Twins game. I was looking at the over 7.5 yesterday. It's now 8.5, so I'm definitely not going to jump on it at 8.5. But I like the Twins side. Hutchinson has been getting hit quite a bit lately. Bundy as well, but I trust Bundy a little bit more, and I trust the Twins a little bit more. So it's leaning towards the Twins. Nothing confirmed yet. Nothing in KC Cleveland for me. Nothing in Philly Washington. Nothing in Miami Milwaukee. It is Miami against a lefty. So I would look to the Brewers, but Ashby's 2-10 with a 4.5 ERA and just not a pitcher I want to back. So ultimately, that's a pass. Not touching Pirates, Cardinals. Houston. I want to take Houston -1.5 at +150. I want to fade McClanahan, who has been getting hit in his last few games, including a game against this Astros team. I think there's a pitching advantage with Javier right now, but Tampa Bay has more motivation to win this game. So right now it's a pass. I want to back Houston in some form. Haven't got to it yet. Mets and Braves. Obviously, I made my rule no betting Mets games for the rest of the year. But if I was betting this game, I would probably take the Braves in some fashion. I think they got the Mets exactly where they want them. Yes, it's Scherzer. But as yesterday with DeGrom showed, even those elite guys can get hit and can lose games. Wright has been really good all year long, except against this Mets team. So that would be my only kind of but ultimately this is going to be a really good game. So best of luck to anybody that tails that. White Sox, San Diego, my favorite game of the day. White Sox first 5 money line. I'm backing Cease here against the Padres. Nick has called them the Padres. He stopped calling them the Padres and started backing them, obviously, when they started winning. But last night was the final straw for me. I don't know how this team could be such a disappointment after going out and getting Soto and Bell. I was so excited to back them. I said, this team is going to make a ton of money after getting these guys. I can't wait to back this team. And they've been a disappointment pretty much consistently the entire time. And obviously they let me down yesterday. Today's a new day, though. not taking yesterday aside, we have Cease against Clevenger. Clevenger has been allowing 4+ earned runs in 4 of his last 5 games. And meanwhile, Cease is going 3 of his last 5 games, he hasn't allowed a run at all. So there's a huge pitching mismatch here with Cease against Clevenger. Yes, the White Sox not really playing the best, obviously, until last night. They were on a losing streak there. But I think they kind of get up for this game for their pitcher. And I don't like Clevenger, so I'm happy to take the White Sox first 5 here. Nothing in Rangers and Angels, and nothing currently in Rockies and Dodgers. I would like to thank the Dodgers, though. My first 5 minus 1.5 yesterday, my best bet on the show, was a no-brainer there. After that 9-run inning, so that was awesome. Thank you, Dodgers, for that. Occupancy, baseball today. What do you think?
Yeah, a couple interesting storylines. I'll just say tread lightly at the end of the season. I think managers are watching their players and kind of giving maybe some other guys a shot in terms of like the bench players and stuff. Just a little forewarning. So just looking at the slate here, my season ended with the Phillies on Thursday when Javier Assad, 25-year-old from Tijuana, who had 8 MLB starts, shut out the Phillies through 5. I said, I'm done with the Phillies. I had a lot of money on that game, and I lost a lot of money on that game. And then I had to wait till 1 a.m. Eastern time to make it back with Seattle. And my heart can't go through it right now with the Phillies. So that's a pass. Looking at the other games, everyone on Twitter, check out at Bet with Mikey. He's popped in every now and then, but he's got a really good write-up on the Mariners A's. He looked into Luis Castillo, and he struggles actually against them. And then with Seattle, clinching, the books have set the Oakland team total like 1.5. So that's just a sharp look, I think. So I'll be getting to that game. The one that I'm capping personally is the Brewers Marlins. Aaron Ashby, in his last 14 starts, okay, the team has gone 1-13. It's not great. There's a little bit of some rivalries going on with the Brewers. I know they have an ex-player, I'm blanking on the Spanish guy there, that used to play on the Brewers. He had a grand slam Thursday night, Garcia. These teams just like to play spoiler, I think, a little bit. So I'm actually looking, and Edward Cabrera, on the other side. That is also one of the big reasons. Look at his ERAs. Ever since he came into the league in June, his ERAs, he only had 1 game over a 3. So he's a good pitcher. The team seems to win behind him. I think there's some generous lines with Miami, +0.5 even in the first 5 at -105, I think is good. Taking a shot even on the first 5 money line and the full game. And then even the Miami team total at 3 is -105. So you push on a 3. So I'm interested in that game. Every time I feel like I clock in, I check in with the Brewers, the manager's on the phone. He's looking so distraught. Like, I know it's a stressful time of the season, but it's like, trust me, I like to cash with the Brewers as well. But it's just an interesting pitching matchup. So I think I'm leaning towards Miami there. Terry made a really good point with the White Sox and the Padres. The Padres should be winning these games, but they're not. And they're not going to win with Hugh Darvish on the mound. Are they going to win with Mike Clevenger on the mound? Not sure. I'm going to check the White Sox lineup real quick here. I got it up already. I use RotoWire for all my starting lineups. It's a free service. It's still expected right now. But I'm seeing 70 degrees, wind 7 miles per hour out down in San Diego. It looks like they may be starting the regulars. So Maybe they're also playing spoiler here, and there's like that yeah, they're in California on the West Coast and they're still trying, because you just got to be careful with teams, hanging it up. But that's really it. To be honest, like I'm stepping away from player props in this last week. Not going too heavy on that. But couple interesting games that I'll definitely be keeping my eye out for today.
Awesome. Yeah, it may be low volume going forward on the show, but it is the last week of the regular season of baseball, so that's going to happen. But hockey is right around the corner. We'll also be going over a little bit of NBA as well. Obviously, not much hockey on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. A lot of basketball, so we'll be going over some basketball as well. But obviously, the show will be hockey focused and NFL focused going forward once baseball ends. So make sure to tune into that. Ryan, today's baseball slate, what do you think?
Well, I saw some angles that I like today. I guess I'm going to start with my best bet, and my best bet is the Mets today. And I basically did a comparison of Wright and Scherzer, and Scherzer is better in most regards, in like walks, ERA, and fielding independent ERA. I could very well bet against Scherzer in the playoffs, but in a regular season matchup, when there's a little bit less on the line, I think he's going to excel in this, and I think he's going to win this game. I take some pause because Wright has this long streak. I think he's only lost once since the All-Star break, and also the Mets bullpen is not really in its best form right now. But in spite of that, I'm still back in the Mets. They're the best team in the league against right-handed pitching, and I think they have an edge here, and I think they win. And in spite of some trends to the contrary, so it's my best bet. Both of you all brought up the Mariners and the Blue Jays. The way I'm looking at the standings, I think the Mariners can still catch the Blue Jays and get that home team spot. So I think there's some pretty strong motivation on both parts. And I just feel like the psyche of this Mariners team is they went on this long road trip. They want to soak up the home crowd. They want to make the most of the situation. So I think they come out and win today. It's hard to find a good angle for that because they don't really cover run lines very well, and sometimes they struggle and have to come back to win. But I think they do, and also I think the Brewers find a way to win today, and it may not be easy, but I think they do, and it's because of the trend that Terry likes to ring up, the Marlins against left-handed pitching, and I think because of that, the Brewers are going to win. So a good parlay would be the Brewers and the Mariners, and it's a roughly even money parlay. So that's a bet that I'm going to make. And I'm also looking at backing three of the best teams in the league right now, and that is the Cubs, the Giants, and the Angels. And they're just like crushing it. Like the Giants have won something like 10 of 11, and they're mixing and matching these bullpen pieces. But this is basically a rerun of a game a week ago with Junis and some of these same bullpen pieces. And the Giants won that game as well. And I think that the Giants, we're getting a really generous price on the Giants. It's roughly even money. Same with the Angels. They're just crushing. And I'm looking at the run line for the Angels. It just seems like a good spot for them. And I don't see how you can't back the Cubs. And like Terry said, it seems like the Reds are just throwing in the towel. They're like number 30 in the league in batting average. So I'm on the Cubs as well, and it's roughly even money. So it's a good value to me.
All right. Lingowick asks, are you on a Mets first five or a full game? Ryan, I know you're on full game.
I'm on the full game, yeah.
Would you like first five as well, or do you like full game better?
I haven't looked at the price, so I don't know what the price is. It's probably good. It's probably, you're basically getting the matchup of the two pitchers, and I think there's an edge. So
minus 120. So minus 114 for full game, minus 120 for first five money line.
I think that's a good price. I would support that.
Especially if you like Scherzer, then the first five minus 120. I'm surprised that it's not like minus 130 in that spot. But any CFL looks at Terry? I had my CFL parlay yesterday. BC and Winnipeg both on the money line. I didn't take the spreads. I should have taken the spreads because both teams won handily. But today's games, I don't really like them. Toronto's already clinched a playoff spot, and I don't really like the back Eastern teams, really, because the West is better. So Montreal, Edmonton, yeah, I'm not touching that game because those are two bad teams. No really edge for me there. Toronto, Calgary. Calgary's favored 4.5. I don't really want to back Calgary in this spot right now. CFL is kind of might be a little bit not too many picks until playoffs, depending on what happens. But yeah, nothing for CFL today. If you want to find my premium plays on picks and parlays on a 4-0 run currently, the link in the description is below. I have a pick for tonight's baseball, as well as a 3-pack for football tomorrow up already on the site. Other picks, either of you guys in any college football? No?
I haven't gotten involved yet today, no.
No problem. We will go on to over under and go to the best bet segment here. And for me, totals today, none. I'm not on any, so none for me. Nick didn't send in his plays. Tim is going ECU, so Eastern Carolina, against USF under 59. Ryan, you're going to the NHL preseason, taking Vancouver, Seattle under 6. Occupancy, do you have a total that you like today?
Yeah, I don't know if someone can help. Bovada took down the Mariners game. I was going to look at the Oakland team total over 1.5 for the whole game. But I'm looking on BetStamp. I can't find a line.
This is minus 110 by the way, Ryan. Not to interrupt the occupancy, but yeah, minus 110 for Vancouver, Seattle under 6. That's the current odds. So you were looking for Seattle?
I think something's going on with the books because they took this game off, and even on BetStamp I can't find it. Team total Oakland. So the game starts at what time here? So maybe I could just add it before the game starts. But for the show, we can keep it moving because that's the one I want.
Huh.
I'm seeing the Oakland team total at 2.5 in my book, but it's a plus money.
Okay, I could go for what was the like a plus 120 or something, plus 110.
Plus 100.
Okay. I mean, I like Luis Castillo, but I don't know.
So Oakland team total over 2.5?
Yeah, I'll go with that. Thanks, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond got Twins over 7.5, minus 120 last night. Might be his only play of the day. Yeah, I kind of waited. I didn't pull the trigger, and I should have. I just noticed both CFL home teams are 0-6 against the spread at home. There you go. So if you want to take the road teams, there you go. But that is over under. We'll go to dog of the day. And for me, no dogs today. Tim is taking NC State, plus 235. Dave is taking Charlotte, plus 150. Occupancy, you are going with Miami Marlins, plus 153. No dog for you, Ryan, right?
No dog for me.
All right. Going on to best bets. For me, Chicago White Sox, first 5 money line. I got it at plus 100 yesterday. Plus 103 early this morning, late last night. But I would take it at minus 111 still. I love the White Sox in this spot. Tim is taking Alabama at minus 17, minus 110. Dave is going Iowa State, minus 3, minus 114. Ryan, you're going New York Mets money line, minus 115. And occupancy, you are going Miami Marlins, plus a half in the first 5 for minus 105. That is today's show. If you missed the new schedule information, check the beginning of the show. If you're looking for the rest of the hockey videos, tune in for the next little bit. We are going to hammer out the other 4 teams that we have left to do: Tampa Bay, Florida, Ottawa, and Montreal. And then Boston is pre-recorded, and I'll be putting that up today. So all the hockey season preview shows will all be up over the next couple hours. So if you've missed those on the YouTube channel, the playlist is there. All 32 teams will be there. Check out your favorite team or a team you're interested in hearing about, and feel free to leave comments in the comments on teams you like and teams you don't like, or things you like about that team or you don't like. Comments are more than welcome. But yes, no show tomorrow morning. So the show for tomorrow's games will be tonight at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern. So check the show for that. But best of luck on your bets today. And we will see you again over the next hour and maybe 2 hours. Hopefully a little bit less, but probably about an hour and a bit for the NHL preview shows. Best of luck, guys. Have a good one.